our Skills Hub Session 2 webinar, Term 2. So before we begin our slides, let's start by acknowledging the country. We acknowledge, recognize, and respect the elders, families, and forebears of the Gadigal people of the Ara Nation, who are the traditional owner of the land where Sydney Met is located. So before we begin to any of the slide, just a quick note that this session is being recorded, and if you would like to visit any part of today's session, the recording will be made available in YouTube. So let's warmly welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, who is our experienced accounting lecturer with strong expertise in accounting and finance. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Cutie. Thank you for having me. Let's discuss our topic, the hidden price of fintech, how you'd become the real currency. So in here, I will be discussing about the data that we are every day we are using it. Okay, whether it is safe or secure, and what type of informations that is provided in our data, whether it is benefit for us or whether it is harmful. So that's the dilemma. Okay, and nowadays the whole world is thinking about this data. So let's give you some idea what it is, how it is used, and how we use the data, and what are the pros and cons, and where is our standing. So I think that's the latest issue now, is the data. The data can be small data, it can be big data, depending upon if it's a big data, like government agencies, like Australian Bureau of Statistics. Okay, so these are huge, Australian immigration, these are huge data. And every day they are getting our data, our information. And we actually need to know, as a student, as also an academic, we need to know that how is our data treated and how we incorporate this data into decision making. So nowadays, everything is about data. Okay, if you talk about AI, it's also based on data. Okay, let's start. We'll just discuss some basic concepts and understanding, and then we try to analyze some of the aspect of data. Okay, so let's start. So has data becoming a strategic asset, or is it a capital? For example, okay, so we can see to whether before data has been, before like this latest development, data has been used as a raw material, just as a raw material, just processed and consumed. But nowadays, data is not as a raw material. It has become an asset, as well as it has become a labor or capital. What does it mean? It means data shows you a lot of signs. Okay, from decision making, to corporate evaluation. Okay, people attitude, behavior, everything is about data. It's not only about a raw material. It can be various variable ways, on various types it can be used. Okay, so it's not only a one source, it's a multiple source. Okay, for example, Amazon, we already know it's a data-driven retail dominance. Yeah, we know that Netflix. So every day we have Netflix. So are we actually watching the net? Some of them. Are we actually looking at those data? Are we actually looking at those movies? What is the inherent risk in this Netflix or watching movies? Okay, like Uber is real-time data. Okay, with this real-time data you can manage where you can pick up and drop off a customer. So these are all the benefits of data, as well as it helps the companies to provide decision making, how everything has to be set up. So if you look at the facts, there are some facts that we find.
Sorry to interrupt you in the middle. Just want to let you, we can't see your next slide if you are changing into slides.
Yeah, I'm changing the slides.
Unfortunately, we can only see the front page of the slides.
Before you could have sent it, huh? Now, what about now?
Yeah, we can see it now.
I think this, if I look at full mode, I think you can't see. So that was in full mode. Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, so this one is you can see this one I just discussed. Okay, just give that slide. Okay, then, so what are the facts? Okay, so we have data. So we just found out some facts, fintech facts. Okay, that means what is happening in this world. Okay, if you see based on the data, that's like 1 or 2 years back report, we can see the most of the people that are using this high tech, fintech industry, that is data driven industry, is by China. China is about 69%, then is 52%. Then on global average is 33%, whereas Australia is about global average. 30% people use fintech, that means data driven decision making, or a financial platform that are all driven by data. As well as if you look at consumer adaptation on this fintech, because fintech is based on data, because all the financial industries are all based on data driven industry. Okay, so that means again it's the China, they use 87%, whereas UK is 71%. It may, but this is 2 years old, maybe latest one will be much more advanced. We'll see some of them 23, 24 data I also have by ABS. Then you see that a lot of development, people are using more data. So this is the world, everything is on data, from YouTube, okay, to Netflix, everything is about data. And the data, like in YouTube, they give you free access, free membership. Why? Because they want to check your behavior, your pattern. Okay, for example, if you can see that sometimes you watch something in YouTube or Netflix, it comes to your email. Okay, same type of information or advertisement that you see, they come to your email, because this data that you are exploring, okay, they give a signal to the other side that, okay, what type of people are you, where do you belong, what is your nature, and what you are looking at the internet. So these are the like the benefits of the data, that they can predict and analyze what is your next step. Okay, this has both benefit as well as disadvantage. So we'll go through that one after another. So and if you look at applications, okay, so a lot of applications. Yeah, life has become very easier because of this latest development. Last 5, 7 years, 10 years, it must be like like data-driven application. Okay, that are used by fintech operating system. Okay, they use like different banking. You can use Chime. Okay, for investment, Robinhood. Before, based on the data, based on these models have been developed. As a result, because these are all based on the data-driven models. Okay, and because of your information that has been input for long years, they use those input to understand how the model should be, how it should be applicable. Like cryptocurrency, also payment, PayPal, Google Play, Cash, then also even budgeting and income access. These are all application that is also driven by data. And this data is your data that they have been used for some years, and they try to come up with this model. These are all part of fintech, and which is based on data-driven industry. So data in business. So we know that nowadays we know that this is happening. So what is the data? Data in business is converting data into business. Okay, that means so it is data, a digital data you are converting from the business. Okay, for example, automatic invoicing, expense tracking. That is called datification. That is converting business activities into data, as well as accounting. So in accounting, what you find, faster reporting and auditing based on data, as well as if you're talking about data-driven technologies like ERP, enterprise resource planning, where you integrate different type of platforms based on data. Cloud computing, okay? So these are all data stored in the cloud. Okay, so that everyone can have access from different countries on the world. Okay, it's like more advanced platforms based on have been developed based on this data. So what is the economic value of the data? Okay, so cost reduction, because before, if you have cloud computing, what happens is you can share your work from anywhere in the world. The benefit is you have access from different countries. Okay, reliability is a question, because reliability sometimes it is dependent on those who have higher infrastructure, like in US. So that is the like the drawbacks. The benefit is you have access, easily access. The processing cost is less. You can get credit analysis, cash flow investment, better pricing. Everything is based on this data, as well as you can based on the data, you can have real-time information. Okay, because of these fintech platforms, what happens is any data that is inserted straight away, you can have access to that data. For example, credit scoring. Before, people, without this data, without this fintech, because data fintech all are integrated. Okay, before this fintech, where we have incorporated data for decision making, before that, when you have a credit score, they have to look at like 1 or 2 days to find out the report. Now, based on this fintech operation and the data accessibility, they can have instant report on your credit spending, so they can have you more accurate and accurate and reliable information. So these are all the benefits of data, and the whole fintech is based on this data. So all the fintech industry is based on the data. Even if you look at AI, this is also data driven. So nowadays, the whole world is moving towards data, and it is automated. So middleman has been reduced, and the efficiency become more benefit for the people as well as the community and the business. Like monetizing. So it's the same thing where the data can be using how you are monetizing, okay? Converting data into financial value, that means how is your spending. If you go to a Woolworths, you are spending, okay, as a student, how much you are spending, which product you are spending. That gives an idea that, okay, how is that business should be formed and which product should be prioritized. That is also data, as well as if you want to make a benchmarking, okay, nowadays you can do benchmarking analytics, okay, all are data driven, okay, for prediction, like you can in one go you can have a big higher prediction accuracy because you have more data. The more data you have, the more reliability is your research, as well as more reliability on your future decision making. Because nowadays, what is the challenge? The challenge data is the challenge, as well as the challenge is how perfectly we can predict the future. If you can predict the future, you can do business very well. That means you can earn more money because nobody in the world can predict the future. And the data is the one source that can help you to keep ahead, but with a cost. So what is the cost? The cost is your privacy. So our topic is about that data. What is the benefit, what we can do with the data, and what are the costs associated with it, and whether we should control the data privacy or people privacy, and if we control, how much we should control. So this is the overall issue in this global economy. Okay, so that's why when we talk about data, we talk about what are the challenges. Okay, so the challenge is ethical concern. Okay, ethical concern. So that's also another privacy. Okay, how much private, how much data should be exposed. Okay, then we have a general data protection regulation that shows you, okay, how much data and how much data you can provide to your user, whether you can use the same data for different industries. So these are some rules and international level rules and regulations to corporate how data more efficiently and effectively, and to protect the privacy of the people. Okay, manipulation, misreporting, these are all comes with the benefit. So when there is a data, there is a chance of the manipulation and misreporting. I think we also talk about that, like predictive analysis, perspective analysis, AI tool. You can have a lot of tools based on the data, whether you want to have an AI assistant. Nowadays, what happened is, okay, yesterday, my day before yesterday, the AI, yeah, whether they are saying AI is good or bad. The question comes to now, they are trying to, US is trying to stop AI development. You have heard that? Because AI is improving so fast that the government is sometimes thinking how to stop the speed of AI development, because to cope up with this data, the privacy and other issues becomes a big issue. So that's why now they are in the middle of whether they have to stop building more AI tools or not, which is data driven. So this is a question now, whether this AI is good or bad. Okay, some researchers sometimes say AI is good, but sometimes they are saying we have both sides. But according to my understanding, AI is good as long as it is guided and it doesn't harm the privacy of the people. As long as it is used for the benefit of the society, it is good. But it's a very gray area. Okay, so that's why nowadays US has just incorporated that to stop the development of AI, which has becoming a more challenging nowadays. So what are the pros? Okay, so ABS, Australian Bureau of Statistics. I just come to know some information about how is the data used. Okay, in AI, Australian agency. Okay, our fin industries. Okay, on real sales in March 2001 was 4,517 million in single month. This is 2005 data on March on ABS. Online retail sales May 2025 is 4,492 1 million. What does it mean? Australians are spending more, 4.5 billion per month online. Just see how fast, how big the market is. Before this AI, before this data-driven fintech industry, okay, before that we didn't have this much of sales. Because more accessible from home, you can have access to a lot of platforms. Yeah, that is now. So what? Why? In which sector they have used mostly? Payment. Okay, location data. Okay, device data, behavior pattern. Look, whether by tapping and go, by buying online, okay, or retailer, what information we are sharing with the society, okay, with the fintech platform. We are sharing our payment data, okay, which payment we are using. We are looking at where we are spending, where we are giving the order, okay, how, which device, whether you are using mobile phone in or computer or in digital device, and our behavioral pattern. What type of product do we buy? Which month we buy? If you look at marketing, yeah, we know marketing is about product, price, place, promotion. Yeah, this before we had to do it manually to look at that. Now, based on this data-driven fintech industries, okay, platforms, we can easily find out, okay, who are our customer, what are the place, where they're, what are the price, and how much money they are spending. So all of these things are driven by the data. So that has become a real challenge, as well as the benefit of data-driven fintech industry. So look at this one. Okay, this is like 2003, 2000, 1981, 1998 was 16%. This is ABS data. Okay, now 16%. Then it came to 46%. In 2003 is 53%. But when you are looking at 2024, it's 95%. See how much is the development of the expansion of internet digital participation, that is database expansion. See how fast it is growing. Okay, this 5%, I think this 5% because of this 5% maybe because of the like not accessibility of the online platform, maybe internet problem, maybe remote area, maybe I not educated enough. So these are maybe very old. So these may be the other things that that is not making it 100%. Otherwise, it would be 100%. But nothing in the world is 100%. Okay. So any question, anyone? If you have any question, okay, good. So let's continue. So the question is, if every digital becomes data, who gains more? Which side are we? Okay, so we need to know both sides. Okay, does digital payment data create value users, or does the behavior-based system capture more value than the user? So are we benefited from there, and what are the challenges that we need to face? So that we need to clarify ourselves. Okay, where we are heading, what are the future challenges that we may face? Okay, so what you do, you tap. Then when you tap, okay, to pay something, you have been traced. From where you are tapping, where you're tapping from Woolworths Town Hall, or whether you are tapping from Blacktown or North Sydney Town Hall. Okay, and then what is your profile? Who is tapping it? And based on these two information, that is automatically done, it helps you to predict. Predict for whom? For the other side. The system tries to predict, okay, what nature are you? As a result, they can benefit. So that from tap to benefit. So these are linked, all are in a linked channel. Okay, so you don't know what you are doing. When you are tapping, you automatically expose your privacy, your information to the fintech platforms or the other business. So what are the benefits? Yeah. So what are the benefits of using data? Okay, money moves, data moves. So as long as money moves, your data moves. That means when you pay for goods and services, your behavior becomes your data point. When, where, what, how much device, which device, how much frequency, all your lifestyle is exposed. So that's the benefit. We are looking at the benefit. We're not looking at the disadvantage. The benefit is, okay, when you're moving your money by tap and go, actually you're moving your whole identity with that. Okay. So what happens when you tap, swipe, or pay online? User pays it, merchandise records it, the businessman records it, bank processes it, and platform, that is fintech platform, locates it, where are you, and then they create, based on your behavior, based on your pattern, spending pattern, everything, they try to provide you offerings, pricing, ads. That's why, all of a sudden you find in your app, okay, the things that you have searched before, it is in front of you. Why? Because of this. Okay, so that is the true nature. That is, when you are tapping, you are exposing yourself, and for the business point of view, is very good. They know that, okay, what type of product that you want, where you want, how much you want, everything is okay. That is the business point of view. For you, it's easier. Just tap. You don't need to find out this cash. Okay, you don't need to protect cash. You just need to tap. Okay, everything comes with benefit and like disadvantages. So it depends upon how you want to try to uh, explain. Okay, the shift is not digital payment now dominate every daily life. So how much this digital platform they are dominating. Okay, so what do you see? Like if you see, so if you pay card payment, 2020, 75% was card payment. Okay, cash was 30%, 13%. So card is paying more. Like contactless in-person cards, 95%, online banking, 18%, mobile wallet user, 33%. So overall, the global payment transaction in 2024-23 is 3.4 trillion. So you see how fast, how enriched the system is, the fintech industry is, and which is driven by data. What company? So from your data, so when the data is exposed, or when in the fintech platform, what they can infer from your data, your identity access, about your account, your device, your location, they can do your spending pattern, your life event. That means how is your health, how is your travel, how is your purchases, as well as based on this, the commercial value is the target. Okay, risk scoring, credit scoring, whether you have been default, whether you have taken something but didn't pay, all that infers. Raw transactions are really the final products. The commercial product is the pattern, score, segment of prediction, build the repeated behavior. What I told you before, the whole world is about prediction. If you can predict 10 seconds from now, you become a multi-billionaire. So everyone in the world is trying to predict. If you study anything in the world, everyone, any industry, if you work, any sort of things that you do in the world, the main part is prediction. And the data is one of the main source of prediction. Okay, we have counter argument. Data doesn't provide everything, but still it is a predicting matters. A lot of financial models for prediction, behavior, all are based on data-driven models. Why the price? Why users gain real value? We already talked about. It's easier, faster checkout, okay, easy online payment, digital record for budgeting. You can have expense tracking, mobile wallets, okay, offer rewards, chargebacks, dispute process, fraud monitoring, all these things. I can have thousands of benefits of using the data. Okay, and overall, it's making is the main is convenient, is very convenient and fast. Okay, and easy accessible. You don't need to carry billions of. In some countries, if you visit, there are in notes is million, sorry, thousands. Okay, $1,000 note, $5,000 note, 50,000, 80,000. You have to carry to pay the bills. So if you have a digital online data payment system, is the weight is very less and is more secure and faster. Less thing for stolen. Okay. The shift is so digital now dominate. So I think we talked about that. Which one is okay? So when you are talking about safer, okay, we talk about fraud. Is it safe? Again, we talk fraud detections need data. So if there is a fraud, like how much was payment card fraud value in 2020 is 762 million. Okay, the reported scam value in 2023, the card payment was 762. The reported scam value is 2.7 billion. Okay, so so we are looking at the fraud as well as the data is with the data we are having fraud. Also, we can also find out, okay, what are the ways, okay, the fraud has taken place, the anomalies, okay, the pattern, okay. Then this with the help of this data we can prevent those. Okay, data is also help you to prevent and detect fraud based on the previous pattern and transactions. So what this fintech is also offering, fintech is offering like open banking model that is called customer data. That's sorry, given rights. Okay, data rights. So what they are trying to do before traditional model, what has happened? So the company holds, so you buy something or if you want any information, the company holds the data, users then locked in, and then comparison is different. What does it mean? For example, before, if you want to take a loan, you have to apply to the bank. The bank takes, we have to apply to the bank. The bank holds the loan, then analyzes it, and then gives you the decision. Everything is held by the bank. But nowadays, if you have users concept, if you have fintech operation where data is driven by fintech platform, what happens is if you have a accredited received recipient service data, that is aggregated platform, what they will do, they will do the whole processing together. You don't, and it is automatically done. You don't need a middleman. So the shift of middleman has become the benchmark of open banking model. That means there is no middleman to control your money, like a cryptocurrency, like a blockchain. It's like a blockchain. There is no middleman. Okay, by like smart contracts, those things you can easily overcome the middleman. If you overcome the middleman, what happens is the cost is less. Okay, so in traditional model, you need to more like authorization centralized. Now everything has become decentralized, and this is protected by customer data right. Okay, so look at some of the let's look at some of the things. Okay, so some of the issues nowadays. Okay, so I just find out some of the, it was like Visa, MasterCard, okay, to 38 million, okay, settlement. So there was a fraud. Consumers receives. So what was the issue? Allegation of excessive merchant processing fees. So that was the issue. Okay, so what was the penalty? US coast approved a preliminary 38 billion settlement over the fee. So when you have a data, you have a data like a security breach. Okay, okay, or sometimes your processing cost is higher. Okay, that was in Reuters 2026. Like EU Digital Market Act. Okay, what they use for large digital platforms accumulate and control users' data across ecosystem. Okay, who benefits? Customer may gain value over competition. So what is the regulation? New regulation promote data profitability, competition, and consumers. So these are different issues regarding to the collection and what the market is doing with the data. Okay, Optus also with this data, Optus what they did, they data breach. Okay, personal identification information is exposed through cyber attack. Okay, so who benefits? Like the criminal benefited. What was the Australian Privacy Commission and potential penalties has been the legal action has been taken by this Australian Privacy and Commissioner. Okay, so this was in Reuters 2025. So you can see what data is that there you have penalties, you have payment fees. So these are the cost and benefit associated with the digital payment, which is driven by data. So what are the cons? So what are the cons of this one? That is that when it can identify, yeah. So the user pays once, so what happens is they can target you. Okay, measurement or purchase response, new modeling and training data. So that means what happens is when you are using the data, what happens is they can see your pattern and behavior, as well as they can also create models and training employees how they can attract those market. So what ACC, Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, said in 2024 report, that consolidated competition and consumer issues in data products and services by data firm, and that industry practice had been under examined. So they are trying to, so you have some regulatory bodies, they try to regulate how the business is using the data. So what we see when we are looking at the behavior, when the data is in the hands of the fintech industry, we lose our 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 safety and security of the data, as well as it becomes the systems. The system is the fintech industry becomes more powerful, as well as they gain more value because they can repeatedly use the data. Like for us, we have used it better. They can use it repeatedly, sell the data to gain more access. So there is a power, so there is a market asymmetry because there is indifference between these two industries. One is us and one is the fintech industry. So if you look at this, who is using what? Like individually is using 20%, small business is using 45%, fintech industry is using 78%, and platform like Amazon, Uber, they are using 93%. So see how much we are benefiting and how much the platform is benefiting. So they are benefiting more. So that's the challenge nowadays. So the data is more convenient, easy, accessible, but whether it has been, how much, who is gaining from this? Oh, we're already 30 minutes over, 30 minutes, okay. So also, if you look at the privacy concern, okay, like in 2003, again, we have more control. Private information is 84%. Okay, trader or personal data unfair is 87%. Overseas data sharing, we use it 91%. AI decision discomfort is 61%. So what they're saying, many people enjoy digital payment convenience while still there is a problem with data trading and automated decision. That means whether our data is secure and safe, whether privacy, whether the data is private or is it public. So these are the questions are always there that we can see from this data that how is growing and how much our data has been used. So, and also we can look at like when we are using this data, how is everything happening? Whether how much is cash and how much is cashless. That means how much we are paying without using actual hard cash. Okay, so 93% of the adults had fixed or wireless home internet access. So 10.5% Australians were mobile only internet access. So what happened is people are using more cashless. Okay, so but this is also dividing the society, because if you have cashless, if you have to pay by online, what happens is whether you have the more accessibility or not. Okay, so for example, like Australia, so sometimes, so what they did was Australia did some groceries, for daily groceries or fuel, you may use cash. Okay, so there are some, because it's so cashless, what happens, it divides the society. Some of them, those who are in the rural areas or they are not educated at all, they cannot cope up with this. As a result, as a result, you cannot have fully cashless. Okay, because you need them to be educated, as well as the infrastructure or to process cashless. So that's dividing the society. To reduce this, to reduce or to overcome this situation, the government has regulated in January 1, 2026 to use cash in some cases. Okay. So I think we just go conclude, because we are running out of time, as well because there is a class will be starting now. Students are coming. Just to wrap up. So who gains more? Okay, so if we look at this chart, you see that user gains less than the system. Okay, who benefits? Like user convenience is 75%, user control only 45%, whereas system power is 92%. So if we look at the last, the thing is who access more. That means it depends. Okay, but on one side, they say that the user wins the payment, but the system wins the behavioral map. That means the system can use your data to produce more information, and they can be benefited more. So on overall, whether we are using the data, that is benefit for both of us, but actually the system, the fintech corporation, fintech industry, fintech system can use multiple data and make more money. This all comes with a privacy. So as as a student, as well as a civilian, we have to think about how our data is protected, as well as how convenience it will be. So it is always a matter of debate that which side will win. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mostafa. Before we quickly conclude the session, we have few questions from Haley. So she asks, does the company buy the customer's information from the other company, or do they sign the contract to mutually share each other's data? So how
So
much is customer data? If like she has two questions, maybe you can answer one after another.
yeah, because the students are coming to the class, they have a class. Okay, just give me 1 minute. So the thing is in here, so when you sign a contract, automatically you sign the agreement that your data will be shared. Like if you sign an Optus contract, you have, but this is also a question that it is shared by the company itself, only by Optus itself. When this data is shared by a third company, then it's a data breach, privacy concern. So, but when you are giving the concern by signing the contract, then the data is shared with the person or the platform. Okay.
Yeah, and there's another question too, along with that. How much is customer's data if one company wants the customer data from the other company?
Depending upon because that everything is deep. That's why we have this regulation. That means when you are making a contract, you sign a contract, like in Optus, you sign a contract that your data will be shared with that company. So that is limited to that company. But the other part is that's a debate. That's according to ethical, you can't. When your data has to be shared with a third person, it has to have your consent. Otherwise, it's unethical.
Yeah, and there's one last question for the day by
Yeah.
Haley itself. So she asks, with development of mobile, the telephone usage has decreased. So with development of cashless payment, would the world be 95% cashless in 2050? Like, is there any possibility?
Look, I think we just discussed. If you look at that, what Australian government has done. If I find that one, hopefully. Look, policy 2026 January. You see that?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can see
Some
that.
essential product. Australian government has mandated that for grocery and fuels, you have to use cash. Why? Because it's dividing the society. Some of them has access to system and some of them don't have. So they divide the society. So in future, they will not make 100% because it will divide the society. So we have to have a balance. Okay?
Thank you
Does it
so
give you the
much.
answer?
Yeah, Haley, you can comment down if that satisfies your answer. Maybe we should do session 2 for this because it's going quite long and you have a lot to talk about. It's never ending, and it's very good that we are aware about data driving into cash because, yeah. So before we conclude, students, please put a feedback how you like today's session and if you want to have similar session in future. And we would want to provide you what you're expecting. So everybody, thank you so much for joining to this session, and see you in next session. Thank you so much, Dr. Mostafa, for accepting our request to become a guest speaker. So thank you, everyone. See you. Bye. I hope you guys
Okay.
enjoy your
Thank you.
classes
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.
Okay.